Hello and welcome to Pitt Resource Connection. I'm Mary Smith, your host, and we have Vicki Dougherty back from VIDANT Health. You're the advanced directives person, but today we're going to say good conversations begin with hello.
That's right.
What is that about?
Well, you know, we'll do anything to get anybody to work on their advanced directives.
Okay.
But most good conversations do start with an introduction of some sort, and we use hello. And in this instance, we're using hello as the name of a game.
Can we say hey?
You can say hi. Or hi there.
Hey.
There you go. But the name of the game is hello.
Okay.
And we do use it to help people have conversations surrounding death and dying. And it really, I see that face. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But we really think it's important that people, everybody over the age of 18, have discussions with their family and their medical team about what's important to them. We really would like to change the conversation from what's the matter with me when you go to the doctor to what matters most to me when you're at the doctor's office.
Right.
And I think it really should guide the care that we provide.
So why a game?
Because it's fun.
Okay.
Anytime that you can make anything interactive and more fun, we're all for it. The game has been designed, and it's just made to encourage conversation.
So how does it encourage living, dying, my wishes? How does the game do that?
Well, basically, it has everyday conversation. You get a little book when you start playing the game, and there are 32 questions in the book, and you start with questions 1 and 2, of course, why you fear about playing the game, why you hope to gain from it, those type things. But then it asks really personal questions, not personal questions, I don't mean that, but individual questions that would have individual answers, such as what activities make you lose track of time. That doesn't really have anything to do with death and dying, but it's a good thing for your family to know if something were happening to you. Or what would your epitaph read? What 5 words would you want on your epitaph? There's simple questions that make you think about what you would want to be remembered for, or what meaning your life has had. And it just opens up the conversation, and you do it in a small group setting.
So how did you all learn about this game?
There was a game a while back called The Gifts of Grace, and we had heard about that before and looked at it. And then they just kind of restructured the game. 2 young guys took it over. Jethro Heiko is one that we have worked with. And they renamed it Hello. They've done a lot of research. It is an evidence-based experiential program. The questions are written in a certain sequence to help guide your conversations. And it's just really something that we're always looking for something to add to our toolkit on how to have conversations regarding death and dying and what kind of care you would want at the end of your life. And we just thought this would be a good option.
Who plays this game? Is it just you individually, or do you have a group that you get together and play? Or?
When we have groups, we haven't really started using it in the community so much yet. We're just getting geared up for it, so that's why I wanted to come talk a little bit about it. We have played it with the facilitators or the members of our end-of-life work group at VIDANT, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. We've played it with some residents, internal medicine residents that participated and thought it was very helpful to them in having conversations, how they would have conversations with their patients. We did a game at the Lifelong Learning Program, and those people thoroughly enjoyed it, and they only got 5 questions answered. You don't get through the whole book in one sitting. But the way you set it up is groups of 4 to 6 people. So it's a personal space. Okay. You don't feel like you're just telling everybody all your secrets.
Right.
You're more, you really bond really quickly with the people in your group and feel very comfortable. It's all about comfort. Everybody's equal.
And it could be your family.
And family is a great place to play this game. We've had many people after they played the game comment that they'd like to play the individual game with their families at Christmas or Thanksgiving.
There you go.
Which is great.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're going to be looking for groups then to be able to present the game and break into smaller groups and that sort of thing. Are you going to have certain days that this is going to be? I don't mean dates, but are there going to be event dates in the future that are going to come up?
There will be. We'll have dates that we will designate for. This game will be played at such and such a place at such and such a time, and it will be open to the community. Okay. We'll also have some other set dates that we'll be having the game. We're just now working on our 2018 date calendar. Okay. And so we don't have anything scheduled specifically right now. Right now we're just testing it.
Right.
But I really want to go ahead and get it out there because I think it's going to be a very successful tool.
And I guess if there's church groups or schools, like the college age groups, fraternities, sororities, all sorts of different civic groups, that kind of thing, could call you to come and do the game with them. Is that correct?
We could certainly talk with them about those possibilities. There is a small cost associated with the game. The books, for instance, cost $5. And we also have thank you chips. And by the way, let me give you a thank you chip for having me on your program today. During the game, if someone says anything that really has meaning for you, or really something that you have been thinking about and just hadn't voiced your concerns about that, then you always have the opportunity to share a thank you chip.
See, my uncle used to tell me never take a wooden nickel, but this is a plastic thank you chip. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and it really is, it's amazing how quickly people get comfortable with each other in playing this game, because you remember stories, you remember things that happened in your past, and you're able to share those situations.
And I would presume it would open up other people's minds to other things they hadn't thought of yet either.
Right.
So
Right.
it would help and broaden their thinking and vision. What are the expectation if someone plays the game, and how is this all related to the advanced care planning?
Well, we're hoping that when you play the game, that you'll recognize that there's some things that you do need to talk to your family about. And one of those things is planning for your care at the end of your life. So we're hoping that you will take the steps. This is the thinking about stage. We talk about an advanced care plan. We have 5 steps in the process. We want you to think about it and talk about it, and this kind of encompasses those 2 steps. Then, of course, we do want you to document it and share it with the appropriate people and review it every now and then. But this kind of encompasses those first 2 steps and gives you a great opportunity to bring up the conversation, to think about what's important to you, and then to share it with your family or with your friends or your medical team or your faith community, whoever you need to share it with.
Why do we need to do this, Vicki?
We all know why we need to do it, Mary, and I've told you. We need, all of us need to have a plan in place. You want to be treated the way you want to be treated at the end of your life. We know that technology can do a lot of things. We can keep people alive, per se, for a long time, but most people want to think about the quality of their life. So this gives you opportunity to think about what really does matter most to you.
So we're talking like a living will and that kind of thing.
Healthcare power of attorney. I always need someone to make decisions for you, because 90% of the time at the end of our life we're not able to make those decisions ourselves. So we need to have
couldn't my
something in
husband
place.
make them without a power of attorney?
In North Carolina he could, but the laws vary from state to state as far as who is next in line. And it has to go through the legal process to determine who is the next of kin. People don't realize, especially, that if they're living with someone or they have a relationship with someone, just because you want that person to be the person making decisions for you, not necessarily so in the state of North Carolina. It goes through your spouse, it goes to your parents and children, surviving parents and children over age 18, it goes to your siblings, and then it might go with someone that you have an established relationship with. So it kind of has to go through all that family before it can get to that person that you think is going to be the one making decisions for you.
Okay, so it's
important.
Yeah, it is important, because and you don't necessarily talk about these things, and most people go, I ain't gonna worry about it till I die.
Right. I'm gonna be dead anyway.
Yeah.
But we're not worried about when you're dead. We're worried about how you're treated until you die.
Right.
We want you to have want your life to be as good and as full as it can be.
And if you can't speak and you can't communicate in any other way,
at least you've had a discussion about it before, and your family knows what you want, and they know that they're doing what you want. They don't have that decision to make. Well, we've never talked about it, but I think she might want this, and which we know adds to the grief process.
And as we know with siblings, one child may say, Mama did not want that.
Exactly.
And the other one said, I don't know what you're talking about, but she's going to have that. And it gets,
we see it all the time.
Very, very emotional, and they fly off the handle and get very angry, and it creates a lot of problems. So this way it's all cleared up from the go. It's certified, it's notarized.
Everything's ready and in place, and not to say that it's easy, but it is easier if you know. And if you've talked with your family and all those family members, because you know which ones in your family are going to give somebody a hard time.
Right.
We all have those people in our family,
Oh, yeah.
and they're the ones you really need to talk to ahead of time. And you want them to support the person that is enforcing or is your voice. And we tell people it's your voice. It's not that they're making decisions for you. They're doing what you have asked them to do. and that makes a huge difference.
So if they go up on the website that's showing up on the screen, they can get a copy of the events directives?
They can download the toolkit. We already have a community event schedule for November and December. They can pull up the website for the schedule. We have several in Greenville in the next 2 months. They can come talk with us. We do a little educational program first, and then they'll do, then we'd actually facilitate completion of the documents and notarize them and witness them and get everything done, and then we actually scan them into the electronic health record at VIDANT.
Okay.
So they'll be available whenever they're needed.
But if they're not, they should carry them with them at all times, shouldn't they?
Well, they should know where the copies are, where the originals are at all times. If you had good discussions with your family, it shouldn't be an issue. I keep mine in my glove compartment of my car just because if something happens to me, I want them to know who to call. Yeah, it's helpful. But if you're admitted to a VIDANT facility and you've had it scanned in, it will be there, and they'll have your healthcare power of attorney, so they'll know who to get in touch with, which is a real plus.
It is a
in
plus.
an emergency.
Yeah, because in an emergency, everybody's scattering around.
And we never know what's going to happen to us and when.
That's right.
And people do not behave well in a crisis.
No, they don't. Well, thank you, Vicki. You're always so informative, and I think it's getting easier and easier for people to talk about end of life because of you. So. It's you've been on the show many times, and it's important that people understand that these things are important. And if it's not to you right now, it will be to your family members. And the last thing you want is everybody fighting over you and deciding what's going to happen. You want to have that control when you have no control.
Exactly, exactly. And all of us are going to die one day, and that's just a given. I know. I hate to break that news to you, Mary, but people don't. Sometimes we just think that we're going to. It's optional in the United States, so we really do need to be talking about.
I've got plenty of time to worry about that.
Yeah. So why not go ahead and get it done ahead of time, and then you'll have it. You can always change it. That's the other piece people need to understand. It is a fluid document. It can be changed at any time you decide you want to change it.
Awesome.
So, but anything that we can do to help you, we are willing to do.
Okay. So there's your name, your phone number's on the screen. If anybody has any questions about advanced directives or where they can get into a workshop or play the game.
Yeah, we're going to be playing the game hopefully in 2018. We'll be ready to roll.
There you go.
So.
Give Vicki a call. She is more than happy to help you out and will be happy to take your papers, notarize them, and scan them. So give her a ring. Okay.
We'd love to hear from them.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching the Pitt Resource Connection.